All right, Lucas, what day is your race?
It's in October. I think it's like the first weekend of October.
You don't know specifically which day?
I just can't tell anybody or else all the fans are going to show up.
Oh, I see. Well, I think I've found, and you've been doing a lot of preparation for this race. We've talked about it.
Oh, no, this is like the day before.
We've talked about it ad nauseum on this podcast. And I found, I think, what needs to be your next race. And it's unfortunate that I don't think you can run it this year because I do think it's probably too close to your half Ironman.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. No, literally no way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's actually impossible for you to do both of these.
Mostly because of bike check. I could probably get back in time to make it to the start of my half Ironman, but I wouldn't be able to check my bike in.
Yep. But next year, I think this is the one you need to run. And one thing I'll tell you about it is that it has a higher do not finish rate than the famed Leadville 100 trail race. So this is a pretty.
Do you think it's because people who take ultramarathon seriously don't run this race?
I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just that hard.
You think it's just that hard?
Yeah. This is the Taco Bell 50K Ultra Marathon.
There's no one. Taco Bell's the one who's putting this on.
I don't know.
I mean, sure, it's TacoBell50K.com. Yes, it's got pictures of Taco Bell stuff.
Sure
they
seems like it.
They have one charity sponsor, which is the Achilles International Colorado. This event is not sponsored or endorsed by Taco Bell Corp. So be cool.
But this is in Denver, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Nice place. It's a 30.9 mile 50K race. And let's go through some of the rules for this and see if you feel like you're ready for this. So first thing, you've got to be present at all 10 Taco Bell stops along the course. 0 tolerance for course cutting.
Yikes.
Feel like you can handle that. But you've got to eat a menu item from at least 9 of the 10 Taco Bell stops.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And there's some specifics here that seem important. By the 4th stop, all entrants must have consumed at least one, and they also have the numbers in parentheses if that's helpful.
1
Chalupa Supreme or one Crunch Wrap Supreme. Dietary restrictions will be allowed within reason, but I don't think you have any dietary restrictions, so you got to do one of those two.
No, wait. So I'm trying to think of which one of these would be more sustainable, and I don't know if I know what a Chalupa.
I don't know what the Chalupa Supreme
like.
is. I like the Crunch Wrap Supreme though; that's a pretty good one. I get that sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the Chalupa Supreme is maybe more manageable as far as volume and then keep moving.
Yeah, potentially so. So that's by the 4th stop. But then by the 8th stop, you also have to have consumed at least one Burrito Supreme or one Nachos Bel Grande.
Are you supposed to do these while you're moving? Because I can't imagine eating a Nachos Bel Grande while running.
That's what I was thinking too. I feel like if you're going nachos, you're definitely like taking a break. You're at best walking. You're definitely not
sitting
running.
down.
Yeah, maybe sitting down. And so that's kind of where we get to the next one, which is that you have to finish under 11 hours. And I feel like you might be getting close to that 11 hours if you're eating all those Taco Bell.
How far is 50K again?
About 30 miles.
30 miles? Mm-hmm. Jeez. I don't know, man. 11 hours. That's a lot of time. That's not very fast.
Yeah, it's a lot of time, but you're also eating like menu items at 9 Taco Bells.
It's 21 minutes a mile. You could walk this.
Yeah, but you need a little bit more time because you got to order your food.
Oh my gosh! I mean, even if you were doing 15-minute miles,
yeah,
you could. That 15-minute miles is like walk, run, throw up this.
Yeah, yeah. So drinks do not count as food. So you gotta be eating food this whole time. You have to keep all receipts and wrappers. The wrappers part is kind of interesting.
So this is very much like an ultramarathon in which you are packing things.
Yes, absolutely. An off-course bathroom break will be allowed at Wash Park. Probably going to be useful.
You're going to have to really lean on those walking sticks.
Yep. Survivors will eventually get a commemorative item. Okay. All right, we're going to skip a couple of these. Okay, here's one. No on-course Pepto, Alka-Seltzer, Pepsid AC, Mylanta will be allowed.
I know that we make those jokes about Taco Bell, but I don't know if Taco Bell's ever messed me up in that way.
Yeah, I don't think it has, but I've also never eaten Taco Bell items and tried to walk/run 30 miles.
I mean, yes, there's been times where I've had Taco Bell and maybe didn't like feel, good afterwards. Not like sick, but, less positive energy kind of situation.
less positive energy.
But maybe, being a Texan, I can just handle my Taco Bell better than the standard individual.
I would think so. Yeah, I've never had problems with Taco Bell either. I also really enjoy it. But if you feel like you can handle it, maybe you would be up for the Diablo challenge, which is where you lather. Note that verb, lather all items with Diablo sauce and do a Diablo shooter at the end.
Well, you need to see that as an example because I don't necessarily know who's policing that. Do they have a guy at a table somewhere that's doing the Diablo shooters? Is that like whenever I ran the marathon here, people were handing out Fireball whiskey on the way?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's very similar to that.
I have wondered if I should just go back and do that the hard way.
Is taking the shots of whiskey the hard way?
Yes.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, this also sounds like the hard way.
I think that the hard way is take everything that's available because it's like cookies and brownies and like Oreos and Fireball whiskey and beer and pickles and there's a lot of weird stuff along the marathon route.
I see. And that's not even this one. I mean, this one has like all of that, but also Crunchwrap Supremes and not just Bel Grande.
I don't know if people are lining the streets for this. This feels...
You don't think so?
This feels maybe less of an official event.
So you don't think you can like qualify for like the Boston Marathon if you run this?
Well, for one, it's not a marathon.
That's true. It's not a marathon.
But two, if you could do this in like sub 4 hours...
Be pretty impressive.
I
wonder what an actual good ultramarathon time is.
It seems like there's no cost to register either. They are 100% not blocking off course. There's probably no participation from anybody except for the people who are like, lol.
I wonder how many people do this.
You know what? Well, more people have not done it apparently than the Leadville.
That's true.
Trail 100 run. So,
by the way I found out about this is somebody told me that her husband asked his doctor if he could do this.
What?
What do you think the doctor said?
I don't care.
The doctor was in full support of it and said that he thinks it's better than a beer run.
That's probably true to a certain extent. Though a beer run is only 4 laps, if I recall, on a track.
I wouldn't know.
Daniel, does the Shiner a beer run count as a beer run?
I mean, it seems like it's in the name. I would think it would have to.
Yeah, but the Shiner, whatever, I guess it's called a beer run. Let me check to see. Yeah, the Shiner beer run, as far as I understand it, you're not drinking while you're, I mean, maybe you are. You're probably not drinking while you're running. Versus an actual beer run, right. You are taking in a beer every quarter mile.
Right.
And trying to beat your friends without dying. Which I feel like that can't be that hard. I feel like I could do a beer run and it wouldn't be a problem.
Maybe you should try that. Do that next time you train.
I mean, I don't want to do it like by myself. That's sad.
That's alcoholism. So
but if there are people like
organize it,
cheering me on.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, the school year just started. There's got to be some frat, at UT doing this. Like, surely you could just go get in on that.
Maybe
be like some 21 Jump Street type stuff, except that it's you doing a beer run instead.
Why not? The Shiner one is a 5K, 10K, or half marathon, and then as a part of your entry fee, they give you 4 beers and food.
I mean,
and
seems like a reasonable
the medal is a bottle opener.
It's pretty cool.
I feel like I have to do that.
Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't. That seems pretty reasonable.
Mm-hmm. It's still not too late to sign up.
When is it?
November 22nd.
Oh yeah, you got plenty of time.
Oh yeah,
that'll be a good, taper down from your race.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've already ran a whole half in addition to other things.
Easy.
So I guess unfortunately, I will not be participating in the Denver Taco Bell 50K.
That's really the only thing stopping you is the scheduling, I think.
Yeah, clearly. That's the only thing.
Welcome back to the Camera Gear Podcast. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Lucas.
And we're here today to talk about the gear, software, and techniques we use to shoot photos and video.
So I'm reading on our Taco Bell this person's experience of having a Chalupa Supreme for the first time.
Imagine being like, I'm eating this for the first time. I must get on Reddit and share my experience.
The first comment is, it's my favorite fire tier reward. I don't know what any of this means. Apparently, beef chalupa is only seconded by the cheesy gordita crunch.
The cheesy gordita crunch, I think, is a top tier Taco Bell menu item. So maybe I need to try this chalupa.
It's even good with the Dorito Los taco shells instead of regular shells.
I'm not a fan of those. I like the regular shell better. The Dorito thing sounds like it would be good, but I'm always a little disappointed when I try that.
I don't know if I've been to Taco Bell within the last year.
Really? I would say more Saturdays than not, I get Taco Bell for lunch.
I mean, respect. I'm not going to say nothing.
It's on the way home from the coffee shop.
Sure.
And I've got a routine going. I go to the coffee shop, edit photos for a couple hours, and then grab Taco Bell on the way home.
Hey, you do you, man. It's just not a part of my life.
Yeah. Maybe it should be.
I had one taco the other day.
One taco is also pretty good.
The Paramount Theater here did a double feature of Kill Bill presented by Robert Rodriguez.
Probably one of the top 10 moments of your life.
I went to that and that was awesome. But on the way, it's like doors opened at 6. And so it's like, I have to be there like 6:15.
Yeah, that's an awkward time. And you got to drive downtown to get to it.
Yeah, and it starts at 7. And they're just going to have like movie theater food. It's not an Alamo or something. It's just, movie theater food, drinks, beer, stuff like that. But this thing's going to go from 6 to midnight. And so it's like we have to eat as late as possible, as close to the time as possible. So it's like we're gonna pick up one taco on the way. That's the most recent taco situation that I've had.
Well, I mean, taco situation and Taco Bell are there's not a lot of overlap there.
That's true.
A small amount of overlap.
That's true. Taco Bell is of its own kind.
Yeah, it really is.
I would say from a fast food standpoint, it's probably Chick-fil-A.
What are you saying there?
Though,
what are you trying to compare?
I'm trying to say that like Taco Bell's maybe one of the better fast food options as far as being not just being like burgers and fries.
Yeah. Well, it is different. I don't think I've ever heard anybody put it in the same category as Chick-fil-A.
I'm just saying no, it's not in the same category. I'm saying like if I was going to say, oh, what's the best fast food? I'm probably going to land over in Chick-fil-A world.
I would
maybe
say
like
so.
P. Terry's or something. But like at least at Taco Bell, you can get a tortilla with rice and chicken in it, and that isn't fried.
I wouldn't say Taco Bell is the best fast food, but I do think that it gets a lot of undeserved hate. I think it's pretty good. I feel like people imagine that someone is eating at Taco Bell and thinking it's Mexican food, and I don't think those people exist. I don't think anybody's eating Taco Bell and saying, look how multicultural I am. This is exactly how the people in Mexico do it. Like, I don't think anybody's doing that. It's its own thing. It's its own food group.
I was going to suggest that perhaps it's because places north of the Red River don't have real Mexican food.
That's also true.
But
except for the fact that we did find good Mexican food in Japan.
Well, that's what I was about to say. We do make it a habit of going to Mexican food places in not Texas.
That's true.
And not Mexico.
And honestly, that Mexican food in Japan was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The first place was not good. The second place was
Did we have Mexican food in Europe?
I don't think we did.
Yeah, it's a shame.
I think the people we were with.
Shame.
I think the people we were with have had Mexican food in France.
Yep.
But we didn't do that while we were there.
That's right.
That's
right.
Really
the second Mexican food place in Japan was good. The first one was
hard mediocre. Like it was okay,
yeah.
But it was not great.
None of the food we had in Japan was bad.
Yeah.
It was all like a 5 or better.
Yeah. I would agree with that. And the Mexican place probably like anchored that 5.
Really set the stage. Oh boy. Woof.
All right, we should probably talk about cameras at some point. We get people commenting sometimes that are like, it took them 20 minutes to get to the first topic. Like, yes. Yeah, welcome to the podcast.
We should have stayed in the pre-show. Just play the intro again.
If you don't want this stuff, just use the chapter markers.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why they're there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. I have Resolve 20.1 in our proxy workflow on here. I kind of want to let's come back to that if we have time. I'd rather focus on talking about the Nikkor 24-70 f2.8 version 2.
Sure. Sounds good.
Which I believe should have a more aggressive name, but they have only called it the Nikkor Z24-70 f2.8 S Mark II.
Yeah, that's a pretty boring name. I mean, normally they're naming their lenses, they've got the Noct and stuff. And
right. I mean, I think that they realized, so this lens, they threw the kitchen sink at it. We got all the features. And I think that if they took the time to put all the letters behind this thing, it would be the Nikkor Z24-70 f2.8 SSVCM MARN FLC IFEDAS AM MFSE,
which
Mark II.
Which sounds like probably like how Sony names headphones. Like it's just that's too many letters. Can't do that.
It's probably WR. I didn't even see that listed here, but they should have done it. I mean, other companies out there are WRLM, et cetera, et cetera. Go for broke. It's like whenever you, if you're a PhD but not a doctor, put that at the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
How are people going to know how important your lens is if you don't have hundreds of initials at the end?
That's what I'm always saying.
This is my first complaint.
It needs to have so many letters that the name wraps all the way around the barrel of the lens.
Please and thank you.
Yep.
But no, they kept it real tight.
Real tight.
I think they could have named this puppy.
Maybe they will. Maybe it just has to be out there for a while for the name to reveal itself.
Do you think that's the case?
It could be.
I don't really have a suggestion for how to name this. I think that Plena and Noct are pretty good branding names. I haven't really heard those names outside of the brandings for the lenses.
Right.
Maybe it's because I don't know other languages very well.
Could be.
It seems to me that Nikon's pretty good at naming lenses.
I would say so.
But they only have 2.
Only have 2.
So, this replaces, which probably didn't really need to be replaced, the 24-70 2.8S, which is an S series lens. It's like a gold ring lens. Real good. This is supposedly better? It's unclear if this is like a video lens. Because about red. They got to have video lenses.
Right. And they've got zoom out on some of those cameras now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So is this a video lens? Or is this the new premium 24-70?
Yeah.
And why are they still selling the other one?
Are they still selling the other one?
Mm-hmm.
Is it at a lower price, I assume?
It is $2,550 instead of $2,800.
That's not a big difference.
It's not a big difference, which makes me wonder, maybe there's a reason why you might want the other one.
Interesting.
I did include the comparison in here as far as our notes, and this is the comparison straight from Nikon on their website. I think that maybe in like physical length, maybe like the biggest reason why you might get the old one instead of the new one, because the new one's lighter, smaller.
So is the old one shorter?
I think the old one's a little shorter, and it has a tiny little display on it.
Oh, interesting.
Because it kind of like the Noct has a little display on it too. So it's bigger. It's like 82 millimeters versus 77 for the new one. So it's heavier, bigger, slower autofocus, but maybe it's slightly more compact.
Yeah.
Because it externally zooms. And that's like the big deal with this new one. All internal zoom.
Yeah, that's really unusual for a 24-70. Like it's common on a 70-200.
Some might say that this is the world's first internal zoom in this class as of 8/22/2025 among 24-70 f2.8 interchangeable lens mirrorless full frame cameras based upon Nikon research.
That sounds like something that Nikon marketing would say.
Some people.
It is a nice feature, honestly. If you want to use like a follow focus or a gimbal or something, internal zoom is definitely nice.
It is definitely nice. So, there's a lot of things to talk about here. Well, I want to kind of ask, like, is this a video lens? Maybe talk through some of the video stuff. I do want to take a quick aside on the coatings on this thing, because this has the meso-amorphous coat, which they've kind of put aside for some of like their more premium, like the white long telephoto fancy pants lenses. This is kind of, maybe a big deal that they put this in 24 to 70. But whenever you read through on Nikon's website of like, well, what's a meso and amorphous coating? And it's like, oh, it's like good for low dispersion. It's way better than that nano crystal crap. But then they also have the arneo coating, which is a nano crystal coating.
So they have both?
Yeah, they had the meso amorphous coating and the arneo coat and a fluorine coat, but that one's for weather sealing.
And they just took but you're saying like all three of those are on the same lens.
Yeah, they just took all their coatings. And they're like,
weird.
Put all the good stuff on there. They just, bam, slapped it all on there. They basically took all of the features that they have for lenses and put it on this lens.
I mean, I appreciate that. I'll respect that they're doing that.
It has a multifocus system, so you can like lock the, if you only want to focus within a certain range.
Sure, like a lot of 7200s have that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, a lot of 7200s have like a set distance. I think that similar to how on like a Lumix camera, you can tell it only focus within this range.
Oh,
they have like a lock versus a full.
That's cool.
Little slider, and so you can choose to set the range for your multifocus system. It's got like an AM MF switch. It's got two function buttons on it.
Pretty cool.
It has one of those rings, like a control ring, but it's clickable, so you can like set it to aperture or ISO or whatever you want.
Oh, nice!
But then also declick it.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, they put everything in here. The other lens had really good focus. Had like vibration control motors. The best of the best. They put even better vibration control motors in this thing, and they called them Silky Swift.
Silky Swift voice coil motor.
Exactly. It doesn't really clarify what that means, other than that they're faster and quieter.
I like how in this comparison, the original version of the lens that says that the AF drive noise is near silent, but then on the new one it says 50% quieter than predecessor.
50% quieter than near silent.
Yeah, so it's like ultra near silent.
Oh, I guess the other one had stepping motors. Interesting. Voice coil is a lot more precise. I think we talked about that a while back.
Some other things. This new one focuses a lot closer than the old one.
Yeah.
9.4 inches versus 15 inches.
Yeah. Yeah. It's substantially lighter. It's like 125 grams lighter. 77 versus 82 millimeter filter thread. It's, a lot better in a lot of ways. And has like all the features.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, like, is this a video lens? And like, maybe Nikon's saying it's a hybrid lens. I haven't really said like this is a video lens, but what makes a lens good for video? Like, what are you looking for whenever you're trying to buy a video focused lens?
Well, I think a lot of people are looking for good autofocus performance, and that's something that a lot of times we see some lenses do really bad and some lenses do really well, because it just doesn't matter as much for photo as it does for video. I don't care as much about that because most of the video I shoot, I'm not using autofocus. But I think that could be one thing that might factor in.
Well, whenever you're using manual focus, being able to set that ring to linear, having it being locked to the lens elements rather than just being a digital zoom or a by-wire zoom.
Yeah.
Which this is clearly going to be a by-wire zoom.
Yeah, but even if it's by wire, being able to set it to linear is still better than not.
I think having those VCM motors is going to help with the by-wire focusing. It's going to make it maybe a little more precise. I don't actually know if on Nikon you can go in and change from linear to
I'm not sure if you can
non-linear. So,
I mean, definitely parfocal, and just generally what happens when you zoom. I mean, I think recently we were talking about the Tamron 17 to 70 and how it goes out of focus when you zoom, which is terrible for video. And so I think having it stay in focus, having the exposure not change when you zoom in, and having it be parfocal, like if it met all three of those, I think that makes it much better for video than if it's missing any of those things.
It seems to meet all of those and also have improved on them over the previous version of this lens. The focus breathing is extremely well controlled. According to Nikon, it's half better. 50% better? How would you say that? I don't care.
50% quieter than predecessor.
Definitely that. It's parfocal, so it shouldn't.
Not all lenses are.
Yeah, no. So parfocal, low breathing, and the exposure seems to be pretty stable when you're zooming. So, as far as ability to use whilst zooming, pretty good. Combined with the fact that this is all internal zoom.
Yep.
And so you could rig this up, put a matte box on it, and all that sort of thing, and then not have to worry about the lens changing shape while rigged.
Yep.
Or you could potentially put it on maybe a gimbal and not have to rebalance whenever you change the zoom.
And is this stabilized? I assume so.
That I don't know. I would say that stabilization is maybe important for some video lens work.
On this, at 24, I don't feel like you need it, but at 70, it sure is nice to have, stabilization. But I'm not sure if it does. I don't know if my Panasonic one has stabilization.
I don't believe this is stabilized.
Yeah.
I don't believe
I think that's kind of uncommon on 24 to 70s.
Yeah, on 24 to 70s that are 2.8, it's uncommon. I mean, we'll see like 24 to 1. I guess that's 24 to 1.5s are often stabilized. So maybe leaning more on the fact that most of Nikon's cameras have IBIS. If I was going to be using this on a red, I wouldn't want the stabilization necessarily. So I would say, depending upon your use case, optionally stabilized is maybe more or less important for video work.
Reasonable.
But so not stabilized, fast focusing, good manual focus control, ideally quiet.
Yeah.
If you're using it for video work, especially if you're focusing, you don't want to hear those motors move around. Having a clickless aperture or clickless exposure control is pretty handy for adjusting exposure on the fly. I think that another characteristic of very good or things that you want out of a video lens is for it to be stupid expensive.
You think so? It makes this makes you feel like you're getting that extra little bit of quality.
Yeah, exactly. Corrections in lens.
I guess that matters. I don't know. I'm not so sure that matters.
Maybe not. Probably depends on what you're using it for. I would think that if you were shooting, I guess even in raw video, you could apply that correction in post and get it figured out. When I think of the best video lenses, they are not ones which you are having to correct substantially in post. Yeah. And it, with reviews pending on this thing, it's not clear how much correction this thing's going to need.
My guess is it is, if they're, making it lighter and doing, kind of optimizing some in that direction, I just feel like it's unlikely that that's what they chose to optimize for.
It's lighter, smaller. It has 14 lens elements in 2 groups instead of 17. Or sorry, not 2 groups. It's 14 lens elements instead of 17 lens elements. Okay. And I think they reduced the grouping as well, but that's not on my list here. So it's less glass, which means better T-stop, right? Better light transmission. But that also means less corrections. I'm expecting that this is going to be pretty heavily dependent upon having lens corrections applied.
Most modern lenses are. Wouldn't be surprising.
No, but if this were geared as a video lens, which, internal zoom, faster, focusing on how quiet it is, faster focusing motors, all, better focus breathing, all this sort of stuff feels like, hey, let's make a lens that's optimized for video, but then at the same time doing more post correction. Those seem a little counter to me.
Yeah, maybe. I think they have added these features knowing that they have Z-mount cameras that can, that are used for video that can benefit from it. But it pretty clearly to me seems like a hybrid lens still. Like I don't think it's only for video.
Yeah, no, definitely not only for video. It's certainly a hybrid lens. But do you think that, they're positioning this thing to go on Z cameras, or do you think that they kind of also mean for it to go on a Komodo?
When you say Z cameras, you mean on like their mirrorless
Yeah, I
cameras?
mean like a Z8, a Z6 Mark III, Z5 II, something like that.
I don't know. I mean, I could see somebody using this on a Komodo. I think for a lot of cinema stuff, people use primes, but having a really solid 24-70, I mean, I don't see why not. It seems like it could be as good as any other zoom lens option that you put on a camera like that.
With all of the features and everything that they're really cramming into this, it seems like maybe one of the better 24-70s that we've seen released in recent years.
I'm curious about that because I know when I was buying stuff recently, I know I think it's Petapixel did a kind of like a review of all the major brands 24-70s. And in that one, I think Panasonic did come out as one of the best. I don't remember who second place was. But yeah, I was kind of curious how this is going to stack up against the other 24-70s that are out.
Yeah, that's something that I was kind of going to get to, I guess, is I would want to see a comparison, right? I don't know how many people are buying their camera system based upon their 24-70, but if that's your workhorse lens for a lot of people, you want it to be as good as it possibly can.
I mean, it wasn't necessarily why I bought, but I definitely looked at stuff like that, thinking like the lenses are an important part of a camera ecosystem, and for event stuff, I'm going to use a 24-70 pretty often, so I want to make sure I mean, for me, I think the main reason I was looking it up was actually to decide between getting the Sigma and getting the Panasonic version of the lens. But, I think it'd be a mistake to buy into a new camera system without looking at the lens options that are available and not just making sure that the types of lenses are there, but also that the options you have are actually like good quality lenses.
Right. And I am curious to see, once this is out in the world and we're getting reviews and test charts and that sort of thing, how it compares to the latest G Master or the the Canon RF 24-70, and just kind of get an idea of if you're a wedding photographer that's shooting on Nikon, are you going to have a subpar experience compared to your Canon brethren or the Sony shooters? And I'm expecting not. These are going to be pretty equivalent. I am looking forward to seeing how much of a step forward this is in image quality over the 24-70 2.8S, not the Mark II.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not going to be much, maybe it is, but that's probably going to be where we land on a deciding factor is, do you need these faster focus motors? Do you need to be able to use it more for video? Do you need the internal zoom capability? Or are you better off staying with what you have? And we can't really answer that question until we see more test charts and things.
I will say, if I was buying these two lenses new, I would for sure spend the extra, what is that, $250 to get the features on the two. But the trade-off, of course, is that you'll be able to find the old one used, whereas you're not going to find this new one used for quite a while. Yeah,
I think that the comparison here is maybe less of which pro lens you get if you're coming into it straight, $300 more depending upon used. I think this is maybe, as always, interestingly compared to the 28-70 f2.8 because Nikon has those cheaper standard zoom options.
Which I think those are interesting choices. I would consider something like that if I was in Nikon.
But not if you were in Panasonic.
Well, Panasonic kind of has similar. They do have a 28-70
and a 20-60.
But I don't think that's the comparison. But the 24-60 that they came out with is this exact same kind of deal where it's like you can get this cheaper lens that is compromised a little bit on focal length, but is a lot smaller. And in that case, I went with the 24-70.
You sure did. It's because it's got that Leica juice inside.
That's exactly why.
Yep.
Went with it for quality reasons.
So I'm excited to see a little more on this, but pretty cool release from Nikon. Not something we were expecting, and pretty much all of the features that they could possibly cram into this lens.
Yeah, I think it's neat to see them. Even if we're not really sure if this is a video or a hybrid or what their intention for it is, it's good to see them adding more video features into their lenses, and it kind of feels like maybe that's some fruit from the Red purchase that they're kind of building out the video side of their lens lineup.
It just sometimes felt like for a while that Nikon wasn't really doing anything, and whenever they did something, it was cool, but it was kind of far and few between. This is maybe one of those times where, hey, here's a drop from Nikon, and it's unexpectedly interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I think it's interesting. I mean, neither of us shoot on Nikon, so we're not going to be getting this lens. But
Yet.
it's cool.
Yet.
But it's cool to see.
Whenever I get my Z8.
Your Z8 is going to cost a little bit more now. I'm sure you saw those prices went
Did
up.
they raise the price of the Z8?
They
This feels
did.
like it's been on sale for 100 years.
The Z8 and the Z9. I think the list price of the Z8 went from I want to say $4,000 to $4,300.
Really?
Obviously these things go on sale sometimes.
But it was costing $3,300 for the longest time.
Yeah. The Z9 went up quite a bit too. I think it's like $5,900
Man,
now.
I missed the trick. I should have bought a Z8 a year ago,
Yep.
and it was $1,000 cheaper.
Sure should have. Some of their stuff went up by a lot. The Z5 Mark II, again, list price went from $1,700 to like $1,850, which is a pretty major jump.
$1,700 to $1,850?
Mm-hmm.
Is that only $50?
It's
$150.
No, it's $150.
Man.
Kind of adds up, when
really does.
Anytime you're below $2,000, like $150 is notable.
Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, everything's getting more expensive.
Yep.
It's like,
Those Fuji prices just went up again. This is crazy.
Yep. Just buy the gear when you can,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Didn't used to be how it was.
Yeah.
I don't like camera gears getting more expensive over time and not less expensive over time.
No kidding. Like the XH2S costs more now than when we bought it. That's not the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah, it just seems maybe a little backwards.
Yeah, it does.
It's like, oh yeah, I'll just wait. It'll go on sale, or there'll be a good used version.
Nope.
All the used versions get bought up or cost more than the new versions, and what a time to live in.
What a time to live in. All right, what else we got?
Well, I have this whole thing about this light experiment thing, but then I also have some other news. So what do you want to talk about?
Let's hit the news real quick, and then we'll talk about the light thing.
All right, tell me about the newest entrant into L-mount.
I mean, we all know the L-mount Alliance is just the place to be. And a few weeks ago, we were talking about, I don't know when this was, a week or two ago. It hasn't been that long. We were talking about, various third-party lens manufacturers. And one we mentioned was Viltrox. And now we've heard that Viltrox is joining the L-mount Alliance.
I feel like Viltrox can just shell out lenses like crazy.
It sure seems that way.
And I don't know if they've announced any L-mount lenses, but I would be surprised if by this time next week there wasn't 100 Viltrox L-mount lenses.
So it seems like that goes either way, because that's always what everybody assumes. But I can't remember which brand it is. There's some brand that joined the L-mount Alliance, and everybody thought, this is great. We're going to get all these lenses that are currently only E-mount are going to also be L-mount, and they really haven't done it. I wish I could remember which brand that was.
Was it Sigma?
I don't think
that was a joke.
Yeah, Sigma has lots of L-mount.
It was definitely DJI.
There's one brand that does this, but with Viltrox, I'm curious because they have some good lenses. Now, granted, a lot of the good ones I know about are APS-C, but I don't know. I hope they do bring some stuff to full frame L-mount because I like the lenses I've used from them, and I'd like to see more options.
I think it's Blackmagic, Panasonic, Sigma, Leica, and now Viltrox. I thought DJI joined them, but I don't think there's anybody else. Wait, wasn't it like Astro Design or Samyang or something?
Maybe I'm thinking of Samyang.
It must be Samyang.
Classic Samyang move.
Sure, yeah. Anyway, is there any specific Viltrox lenses that are full frame that you've been just waiting for,
no,
just dying
not
for them
specifically,
to bring to
and
L-mount?
that's the thing is the full frame aspect of it. I'm not sure what they currently have that I'd be interested in. I really like that 75 1.2 on APS-C. They actually just came out with a 56 1.2, but that's also APS-C. And I'm curious to see if that one's going to compete well against the Fuji 56 1.2. Because that lens seems like I know you had trouble getting a good one of it. But I don't know what they make that's full frame. I just, in general, I feel like they make good lenses.
That new 56 1.2 is really interesting because I was looking at a comparison between the new Viltrox 56 1.2 and the current Fujifilm one, and the specifications are near identical as far as like the type of focus motor, the size of the filter thread, the number of lens elements, and within the number of groups. And it's almost like it's the exact same lens formula.
Yeah.
But with a slight, the lens body itself is slightly heavier, slightly longer.
Yeah.
It's just really, really interesting how aggressively similar that Viltrox lens is.
Except that it's half the price.
Yeah, it's like half the price.
Yeah.
There is a 50mm f2 full frame lens here.
Interesting.
Maybe not really what you're looking for. You get a 28mm f4.5 lens cap lens cap, body cap style lens. Pancaker. Otherwise, I mean, like, you guys just have lenses that are kind of cheap. Would you be more interested in them bringing their cheap lenses to L mount, or something like their new quote unquote lab lenses, which are their as high quality glass?
Yeah, I feel like, well, I don't know. I feel like probably cheaper though, if I had to pick, because there's already some really good high end options, especially for zooms. And I feel like it'd be nice to have some good, like, something you could put on like an S9, so like some cheaper lens options.
What I really want to see is like a Leica M6, super expensive, or maybe even an SL3 Leica, but with one of those white Viltrox Air lenses that are like $150.
Yes.
That's the combination that I'm expecting everyone wants to do with this Viltrox entering the L mount alliance.
Yep. With somebody saying it just gives them that look that they've been waiting for.
I still see whenever people call out L mount, they're specifically like the Leica L mount.
It does feel a little pretentious.
I mean, I guess it's Leica's mount first.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone else is just using it.
Yeah, he's just fine calling L.
Is that why?
I don't know.
It's not L for Lumix?
Could be both.
Porque no los dos.
Maybe that's why they went with L.
What do you think that Ernst Leitz thinks about this whole situation? Do you think that putting like a Viltrox 35mm f1.2 on an SL3 is what he intended?
I don't know if it's what he intended, but maybe one would say that if the camera is good enough, it can even make up for a lower quality lens.
I mean, Leica is so much about the quality of their lenses, more so than the cameras. It seems sometimes, even though the cameras are pretty good quality. It's just so humorous to me.
Yeah. Do you think you'd see it as an abomination?
Maybe. It's as the perfect combination of German engineering and Chinese manufacturing.
Yes, just what everyone's always wanted.
Yep, it's a match made in heaven.
We'll be back in just a moment, but we wanted to let you know that if you'd like to support the show, you can now subscribe to us on Patreon. It helps cover our hosting costs so we can keep the show running, and you might find an occasional behind-the-scenes post on there, like some photos we've taken recently or a mini review of some new gear. If you're interested, you can find us at patreon.com/cameragearpodcast.
Daniel, I don't even know how to announce this next topic other than it involves an M5 Stick C and software called Tally Arbiter.
Yep. This is getting into weird Camera Gear podcast territory, but I don't know. I think this is kind of interesting. So we've talked on this show before about how we, kind of frequently work with a broadcast type setup. So the church we go to broadcasts our services, and we have a bunch of Blackmagic cameras, which, yes, the irony is not lost on us. And we use an A10 switcher and stuff, and we use that to stream our services. And so we're both like pretty involved in like making all that stuff run smoothly and, like directing and stuff. And so a while back I was on Instagram, as one does, and I saw a video where somebody was showing off their wireless camera that they use for kind of like a similar purpose. So we do this too. We have a camera connected with a Teradek that wirelessly transmits video, so that the person can move around and not be, tied to a tripod. And one of the things I showed in this video was a little box on top of the camera that just lit up whenever that camera was the live shot. And I definitely thought that was, that caught my eye when I saw it, because that's kind of a big problem. Like, we all wear headsets, and, you know, I think anybody who's done like a live production is familiar with this, but it's like everybody's wearing a headset, and whoever's directing will call out, like, basically they'll warn you when your camera is about to go live, and then when your camera is live. And so that way, like, if you're the operator, not to be like moving around, looking for a new shot. Like, you just need to stay locked on, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so it seems like the system is basically like a way to kind of like augment that audio with like a visual cue, basically like a tally light on your camera, so you can see when your camera's live. And that's something that I think a lot of systems like have a way to do it. So like with Blackmagic, you can actually like do all that with their system, but it's just super expensive, and you have to run like, cables and stuff, and like it's hard to set up. So
this wasn't
simpler than that. So this system thing that I found is basically an open source software that you run on a computer, and it like connects to the switcher over the network, and like receives the information on which camera is currently live. So you kind of put in all your cameras and say, these are connected to whatever channels, and it gets that information, and then it can send it out over the network, and you can have other devices read that information and like light up an LED or something. So yeah, it's a little complicated, but pretty neat system, and it definitely like solves a problem in broadcast stuff that maybe we didn't necessarily identify was a problem, but as soon as I saw it, I thought this is a pretty useful thing for us to have.
So I think it's maybe some more to talk about on how exactly you set this up and how it works, but I maybe want to ask my questions here that
Sure.
I have put together.
Go for it.
The first one is there any relation to Halo 3?
I don't think there is.
Because
why would there be?
Because of the Arbiter.
I don't think I get that reference.
The Arbiter was one of the playable characters in the story mode of Halo 3.
Daniel, I just don't remember that.
I think he was even called the Tally Arbiter.
I'm sure that's where the name came from.
No, absolutely
you
not.
don't think so?
Absolutely not. I'm sure it's a tally light, and then Arbiter is an actual English word. Okay, what hardware is required for this?
So you have you've already got your broadcast set up where you have like a switcher and stuff. Not counting that, you need a computer or a Raspberry Pi or something that you can run the software on that's on the same network, because it connects to the switcher that way.
You don't have to run the ATEM software on a computer to use the ATEM. The ATEM itself has some network address, and this is relying on the network information coming off the ATEM.
Yep.
And so it just has to be on a computer that is on the network and can determine the network path of the ATEM.
Yep, that is all right. And it works with other systems too.
All right.
We're using it with the ATEM.
All right.
It supports a bunch of other brands too. You can use it with OBS if you have OBS running on a computer. But it also works with things from like Ross and other brands. I think there's even a way that I think some systems like actually have some port on the back of the switcher that like closes like contact relays or something whenever the cameras switch, and there's a way you can interface with that. So there's a lot of different options for how you can like pull in the tally information.
Got it. So Tally Arbiter needs some way to pull in the information, and it kind of just can.
Yep.
And then the Tally Arbiter will send Tally signal to something else.
Yep.
Which what are you using? Is it these M5 stick Cs?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of different things you can use. I'm using these M5 stick Cs, which are a little. So if anybody knows electronics, it's an ESP32 development board. But basically, it's this little tiny thing that looks kind of like a USB drive, but it has a USB-C port on the end for power and a little screen on it. And so you can load code onto these things, and they have Wi-Fi built in, so you can connect them to your Wi-Fi network. And you do that and pair it basically with this server, And then for each one of those things, I can say, this is camera 1, this is camera 2, whichever camera it corresponds to. And then having done that, whenever I switch to say I make camera 1 my live camera, it'll turn the screen on that little thing bright red. So you can just mount that little thing near your camera, and the operator will see the screen turn red, and they know that means their shot is live. And then once I switch to a different shot, that camera's screen will go red, and the one I switched off of will just go black. And so then they know, they're off my shot.
So you don't have to use this accessory. You could use a variety of different accessories.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different stuff you can use. It can be as simple as opening up a web page, and you can see it on a web page. So if you had like your phone or something, you could do it that way. There's other hardware you can use. You can run it on a Raspberry Pi. I think there's some other, I can't remember what all options they had.
I'm looking at adafruit.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a common electronic supply site.
And there is a GIF of this M56C Plus IoT development kit in which somebody has put it on their wrist using a watch strap.
Yeah, that's a pretty common way people use those things.
And it just says, shake me, and then they shake their wrist and it rolls 2 dice.
Imagine if you just had that all the time.
Amazing.
Yep,
I frequently wish I had the ability to roll die.
Absolutely.
In order to improve my decision making.
Yes.
Oh boy, do I want to. Let's roll D12 and then.
Yeah, so those things are that's what they're for. It's just people messing around doing little projects and stuff. Kind of like learning how the ESP32 device works. But
so did you just
this is like a specific use of that for this purpose.
So did you just like go to GitHub and download some malware or something and then put it on these devices and then put them on the network?
Yeah, that's basically exactly what I did. It took a while to get it all to work. It was not the most user-friendly thing, like to figure out how to load the code onto those devices and actually get it to run. But I did figure it out.
Yeah, I'm now understanding why you made me install this on the computer at the broadcast station, because it was like, there's no security certificate for this from. Yep. This is not an authorized developer. Are you sure you want to run? I had to go into security settings. Yep. And just say, hey, I don't care. It's on my computer.
I wanted you getting that. You were the one sitting in front of the computer whenever that was installed, not me. So it seemed important.
It's all making a lot of. You basically social engineered me, or whatever say.
Pretty much.
Okay, so hardware required. Basically none.
Mm-hmm. Well,
or however much you want.
Yeah, those little receiver things are pretty important part of it. And then you have to power them too. They do have a battery, but it's a pretty small battery. So you need to power them over USB-C. For our wireless camera, that was really easy because we have a V-mount battery, one of those small rig batteries hooked up to it, and so you just ran a USB-C cable from the battery to the unit. On the broadcast cameras, I thought I had a solution, but it didn't work because those cameras have a 12-volt out. And so I got a 12-volt to USB-C and tried that.
So you basically have the wrong voltage.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. The thing that I bought said it was 5 volts, but I don't think it's 5 volts. What I think happened is that the cable doesn't have anything lowering the voltage, and I think it's passing 12 volts in, and I think those devices don't want to take the 12 volts, so they're just kind of refusing it.
You just need a resistor.
Just a resistor.
Just like stick a resistor
I need to get a regulated power supply, like a 5-volt regulated power supply.
Yeah. Okay, so how hard was this to set up? I mean, it sounds like, on my end, this seemed like an odyssey or a tribulation of some sort.
Yeah, it was pretty hard to set up. Mostly just figuring out kind of how to get things to work. Honestly, the biggest problem was that the newest version of that software seems to not work on current Macs, like the current Mac OS. And so I had to figure out which older version to use that supported that. So that was kind of a pain. I think I mentioned figuring out how to load the code onto those M5 sticks was also kind of a pain. Once I had all that stuff, it really wasn't that hard to get going. And then the problem we ran into after that was totally unrelated to this project, but we have some network issues with that computer where it seems like the computer can't see the the ATEM. Even though the ATEM software control works on the computer, it's like they're not on the same VLAN on the network or something.
What?
And there's some weird thing there. So we've got to figure out the networking issue to get that to work. What's strange is it worked the first time, and then when we rebooted the computer, it's like it lost the context of the ATEM switcher, even though the ATEM software control still works fine on the computer. Very strange.
I guess you could assign the ATEM a static IP.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. I think it's that they're on two different VLANs. So I think when the computer is running, I think it's trying to look on a different subnet than what the ATEM switcher is on. And so somehow the ATEM software control is able to find that, but the Tally Arbiter software cannot. So like that's another, kind of a pain. I think we're going to try and just get both things to be on the same subnet, and hopefully that'll fix it. But
so to me, what it sounds like is if you're into tinkering with electronics, you have a moderate grasp of network infrastructure, you like cameras, you work in broadcast, and you need a project, and you maybe like have a little bit of experience with Git and software development. Mm-hmm. This is just a piece of cake. That's
a good description of it. And
I think that the Venn diagram of people who have skill sets in networking, software development, like cameras, work on broadcast, and listen to this podcast is a perfect circle.
Yes. I think it's me. Yes. This is a perfect project for me. And it's kind of funny because I normally really shy away from stuff like this when it comes to that broadcast setup. Like a good example is we haven't put wireless follow focuses on some of the cameras because I don't want to have to recalibrate them every time.
No.
And, we're always thinking...
No, this is like the Squarespace thing where it's like you don't like you want to give someone a website.
Yeah,
but
you want to set it up and you don't want to mess with it. It's the same thing.
I'm not your IT support.
And so that's definitely one of my criteria for this is that once I figured all this stuff out, it's got to just be dead simple and dead reliable to where people can just power it on and it works. Yep. And as far as I've seen, it does seem like that should be like it does seem pretty solid. Like when it's actually running, I think I just have to figure out like getting the code to run on those devices, not a big deal. That's a one-time problem. This networking thing, we'll see. If that's reliable, then fine. And I mean, the answer may be that we try this and it's just not reliable enough. We're not going to use it. But if it does work, I think it'll have been worth my effort in figuring it out because I haven't actually priced out how expensive professional versions of this are, but I assume they're really expensive because everything in cinema and broadcast is.
Yep.
And it does solve a useful problem. So, if anybody else is out there doing similar stuff, if you're willing to try for a project, this could be an interesting thing to try.
So we're going to have to get V-mount batteries for all the main cameras to act as an intermediary, so you can charge that with the 12 volt, and then
we have wall power at all those stationary cameras because all the cameras are powered by a wall plug.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. And so all we have to do is
that's all we have to do.
Yeah, all we have to do is get a 5 volt regulated USB-C.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah. That is that part. That's the easiest part of the whole project. It's annoying that the cameras themselves have USB-C on them, but that doesn't it doesn't work. It doesn't power it.
Is it easier to get power to the cameras than it was to convince me to install questionable software on someone else's computer?
That wasn't that hard. I sent you the GitHub thing. It was like, hey, install this, and you installed it.
I was like,
pretty simple.
Well, we'll just see what happens.
And it worked.
Oh boy, I am a security hole in a network.
Yep. I don't know. We'll see. We'll report back once we get this thing. Once we get this ideally working.
Yeah.
See how
sometime in February.
Hopefully, it won't be that long.
No, it won't be that long. A couple weeks.
Yeah. That's all we need.
Just a few more things.
Just one more thing to do.
Minor network infrastructure modification, and there we go.
Yeah, easy.
Easy. Just so easy.
We've been all over the place in this podcast today. We started with the Taco Bell 50K, and now we're here.
Yep. I think it was a perfect episode. We had one solid main topic.
Did we?
Yeah. It was this.
This was the main topic?
We were building up to this, Daniel.
I thought Taco Bell was the main topic.
Maybe it was.
That's it for the show today. Thanks for joining us, and if you liked it, tell a friend so they can check it out too. You can find out more about the show at www.cameragearpodcast.com, and you can find us on Twitter at CameraGearPod. We'll be back with more next week.